seen that there was an arrest. I know. Yeah.
Was it?
Brilliant. Do you know what? I was looking for it and stuff. Some people are getting spoken to, but I didn't actually see an arrest. But maybe tensions are getting a little bit now. Right, okay, so your name's Sean, yeah? So,
Yeah, Sean Kelly from the National Education Union.
okay, so why is it important for you to be here today?
Well, I'm a representative of workers. We're a trade union, we represent all educators who work in schools. Obviously, we work with children as well. And we think that dividing people and scapegoating people is wrong. We think we achieve a lot more together than scapegoating people.
So you work with children, so I'm very interested to get your thoughts because this kind of qualifies you a little bit more than the average person. What do you think of the new generation coming into this? Because we do see these protests happening all around the country and stuff like that. Obviously, when I grew up, there wasn't any of this kind of hostility kind of stuff hanging around like there is so publicly now. So they're going to be aware and see this sort of stuff. What do you think the next generation is going to be like growing up into kind of this?
Well, I think I'm older than you, and I have seen this before with the British National Party and the National Front, and we opposed them, we stopped them, we drove them back into the sewers, which is what we're going to do now. But what I think when we see children in school, and I teach primary children, children naturally support each other and naturally help each other. And when I ask children to go and line up for lunch or to go and line up because they're going to assembly, they naturally walk together and stand side by side, and they don't differentiate on the grounds of skin colour or gender or anything like that. They just look after each other and play together, and that's what people are naturally like. Unfortunately, the people over here over my shoulder, something's happened to them, make them go very, very wrong. But obviously, things like the Daily Express, Daily Mail, the Sun, all those newspapers and social media have been poisonous and turned people against asylum seekers, and they are not to blame for the banks collapsing. It's the bank's fault. They're not to blame for the housing shortage that we've got. Successive governments haven't built houses when they should have done. And the mega rich, people like Elon Musk, who are stirring up hatred, they're taking all the money and just laughing at us lot fighting against each other. Those people over there are not rich. Those people there are being fooled by the mega rich into hating other people who are even worse off than them.
Yeah, so I have heard that a lot where it's almost billionaires and all these big massive influential people like governments and stuff like that are causing the problems, and then is it almost pointing the finger, do you feel, to someone else, in this case the immigrants, which kind of cause the division?
Yeah, I think historically immigrants have always been a convenient group of people for the rulers. So in times of boom, when there's loads of jobs, they're a very, very cheap source of labour. But in times when there's hardship, and we've had a cost of living crisis for a long time, they are a convenient scapegoat. So you saw that with successive waves of immigrants into this country. You know, we're all immigrants. My great-grandparents were Irish, and they came across from Ireland to Liverpool. I've lived in this part of England for 36 years. Before that, I lived in Liverpool. So we all move around. You know, the rich can move wherever they like. They travel by private jet. Unfortunately, people who are seeking a better life and try to get to this country are then faced with hostility when they get here.
So how do you feel this kind of will go? Because it's been going on for a few weeks now. What can you see as the long-term goal for your side?
Well, ideally, we'd like to see people not be fooled by racism. But to do that, we're going to have to get rid of the system that creates it. So I think the system that allows a very few people to get very rich then causes them to try and divide us so they can stay very rich. So we need to get a system, an economic system where we share wealth. Because people over there, I would imagine, are not very rich, and they're looking to blame someone, and it's convenient for them to blame asylum seekers. We need a system where we don't have poverty, because poverty breeds racism.
We managed to do an interview with the organiser over that side. He's obviously mentioned about UKIP and stuff like that and stuff. It does, from a neutral point of view, it does seem like popularity for that party is kind of growing out of nowhere and stuff. If they get in and stuff like that, what do you kind of view might sort of happen?
Well, as I say, I'm from the National Education Union. We were on strike against a Conservative government, and we had massive protests. We had 8 days of strike action against the Tory government. We're fighting against the Labour government to improve conditions in schools for our children, for our members, and whoever's in government, we will stand against them. And we've got policies to fight racism, but not just policies on paper. We get out onto the streets. Our union and many, many other unions should be joining us. So I would call on other trade unionists to get on our side here, because we are the majority, but we need to get organised.
And then the last question I've got as well is I ask this for everyone on both sides. This is an open-ended question. You can say it to whoever you want, and then it's an open mic sort of thing.
Oh, I can say anything I like.
But within reason.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is inevitable. This will happen under this system that we live under. Because, like I said, poverty, homelessness, lack of housing, low wages, all these things create the conditions where rich people can stir up bigotry, racism, and hatred. It's up to us as workers to stand together. And we will fight against this. And we're for unity, they're for division.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate that. I've had him in for an interview. Great lad. But obviously we've already done that. It's pointless doing an interview with one that we've already done. All right, guys, we're doing interviews with people on both sides. If you want to share your views while you're here and stuff like that. Want to do an interview? An easy one, I promise you, yeah? Right, okay. So we're from North East Update, so we're local news and stuff like that. We generally do sports and stuff like that, but we cover this every week because it's quite a thing. So we try to speak to people on both sides, find out why they're here, what inspires them and stuff like that, if that's all right. So if I could just start off with your first name, if that's okay.
Margaret.
All right, so why are you here and why is it important that you're here?
Because these people are basing what they're saying on lies. What they were told, what they've been told about refugees is lies. There are far fewer than they're told, and we are obliged under international law to accept refugees. If there were safe routes, then these people wouldn't be in hotels and they'd be able to work, and then they'd be contributing to our society and not getting benefits, and the benefits are pitiful, really low.
So what's your thoughts on the other side? Because obviously they're here every week, you guys are here every week.
They're misled. Well, some of them probably are your actual proper fascists, but some of them have just been misled. They believe the lies of people like Farage, who was stirring it up this week.
So I hope you don't mind us asking this, but obviously you're a person with years experience, so I think you've seen a lot. I've just spoken to someone who's older than me, and I can't remember much racism growing up and stuff like that. He said obviously it was. Do you think this problem that's happening in the UK now is kind of going to end soon? Do you think it's going to escalate from what you've seen in the past and stuff like that? Is there any comparisons and things?
This is the worst I've ever seen it. Although I didn't live in some of the areas of London, etc., back in the 70s where things were pretty bad. But I think this is definitely bad.
So my personal view, I don't really give my personal view a lot, it seems to be growing and growing and growing around the country, so this is escalating.
It's being fed by Farage and by the media coverage that he gets. I mean, he's only got 4 MPs, but he's on every front page, and it's as if he had something to say that is worth hearing, and frankly, I don't think he has.
And then how do you see this kind of all going, a little bit long-term view kind of thing?
We've got to keep going until it's stopped, until we stop them.
Yeah, I spoke to the other guy. I spoke to the guy that organises it. I managed to do an interview with him over that side, and he said that he sees a lot for UKIP and stuff like that. Obviously, that sort of parties and parties like that are kind of on the growth sort of thing. Does that worry you and stuff? That obviously is a...
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it? Because they also are. They're misleading. They're telling people, you vote for us and we'll make things better. And they won't. Every single person in that hotel could be thrown out of the country and it would make no difference to the problems that people have. Housing, jobs, low pay, poor education, attacks on the health service. All these things are real problems, but the things they're saying are not going to help.
Who is to blame for all of the problems that you mentioned, the economic? Because the guy that I've just spoken to, he says that there's a lot of billionaires in the governments and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then that's capitalism. I mean, I don't need to say anymore, I don't think. And of course it's billionaires, but then, wait a minute, what's Farage? Isn't he multi-millionaire anyway? And Tice, who also leads reform. I mean, these people are seriously rich. They don't care about those people over there.
And then the last question I do, and I say this to people on both sides, it's an open-ended question, so you can speak to whoever you want with this and say whatever you want.
Oh,
So if you want to say something to the people over that side, to your side, to people that are not never come to a protest but maybe thinking about it, like whatever you want.
I would just say to people of good heart, come and join us. We need bigger numbers on this side of the fence.
There we go. Thank you very much for your time.